spotlight, shine them bright. Gonna have a brand new show tonight with glitz and glam on the marquee. Perhaps a Tony nominee. Stars beam brightly, see them glow. Sell out nightly, SRO. It's time to applaud the Broadway Beat. Stars beam brightly, see them glow in the footlights of a show. Life is sweet on the world's most famous street.
Tickets, please.
Take a seat
Cue the band.
and have your feet to the rhythm of the Broadway Beat. The Broadway Beat. Broadway Beat.
Hello, I'm Richard Ridge, and welcome to Broadway Beat, our behind-the-scenes look at the very best of what the New York Theater has to offer. This week we're at Town Hall for the 4th annual ABC Daytime Salutes Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. The evening, which featured many of your favorite stars, including All My Children's Susan Lucci, raised $300,000 for BC EFA. But let's start things off at a rehearsal for the new Broadway-bound musical Cry Baby, which is based on John Waters' hit 1990 film, which starred Johnny Depp. The musical, which has direction by Mark Brokaw and choreography by Tony Award winner Rob Ashford, opens at the Marquis Theater on April 24th. The man himself, John Waters, was on hand as the cast gave us a sneak peek at this fun new musical. Mark O'Donnell and Thomas Meehan, who penned the libretto for the last Waters-based musical, Hairspray, provides the book for the musical that features songs by David Javerbaum and Adam Schlesinger. Stepping into the title role of Wade Crybaby Walker is James Snyder. Joining him is Tony Award winner Harriet Harris as Mrs. Vernon Williams. Crybaby tells the story of the baddest boy in town who falls for a good girl in 1954's Baltimore.
To abandon my car.
Well, I was thrilled because I just had such a wonderful experience with Hairspray. And to be honest, Crybaby was the only real musical movie I ever made. Hairspray was a dance movie. So this did have original music in it, even though I knew it would have new original music. And I think the music of this is such a breadth of new talent on Broadway that people, Adam and DJ has never done a Broadway score before. So I love that we have old school and new school meeting together here.
You know, it's interesting because I knew his music from his band,
Me too.
And I was like, oh, you usually hear of, a Scott Whitman or someone else or a Broadway group, but this sounds so Broadway also.
Well, that's the key, is turning, rockabilly music and making it Broadway music that works, which is what you have to do. And it's a tough thing because they're so far apart in a weird way.
It was wonderful what we saw here today. What did you learn in La Jolla when you first saw the show?
What La Jolla? You mean what changes we've done? We made Allison a little badder. We didn't lighten it in any way. The audience seemed to very much like the edginess of it and the irreverence of it. And it had its own identity so far away from Hairspray. What I guess we were kind of worried about is ever being compared with that. No one did. So we kept going in the direction that seemed to play very well with the audience. I saw it every night with audiences in it, and they responded very well to it.
The collaboration has been very seamless, No, it hasn't. No. When I say seamless, I mean not seamless.
There have been a lot of. Well, I'll talk to you about it later.
Yeah, it's been a painful, gut-wrenching experience. No, we would kick ideas. We'll almost always start with a lyrical idea, and one of us will come up with something, and we'll email each other back and forth, and I think we have similar senses of humor, so usually we agree on what's the funniest and what's the best line.
We have very similar sensibilities for sure, and senses of humor, and that. So there's really never been a thing or much of an issue where he says I think this is funny and I don't, or vice versa. We're very much on the same page with that.
Right. Like I said, this jacket is funny, and he agreed. It's funny.
Like I said, it's not seamless. There's been a lot of issues, and we'll talk about it later. But it's.
How well did you know the movie before you guys got involved?
I didn't know it well. I had seen the movie, but I didn't really remember it. I had to go back and watch it again,
I'd seen it one time. I saw it one time more after I got this job, and then that's been it, because I'm not worried. I mean, I'm not worried about adapting Crybaby, the movie, but worried about making this piece whatever, as good as it can possibly be. And working with the book writers on that, Mark and Tom, and the four of us have been the ones really crafting this new, hopefully improved, but certainly different stage version of the show.
Well, they're sort of like cousins. I think of it as a whole different show. People always want to compare it to Hairspray, but it's, every child is a different experience. But we've had a good time. We've worked hard. That's what else can you hope for in life, is to have fun and work hard. But if Hairspray was Cinderella, this is Romeo and Juliet.
Well, I think because we had such a good time, Mark O'Donnell, on working on Hairspray, and working with John Waters was a delight. He's such an interesting, funny, quirky, brilliant man. And so Adam Epstein, who was one of the producers of Hairspray, came to us and said, would you like to do Crybaby? And we both knew it was a movie, and we said, see, that's interesting. We had this kind of wonderful roller coaster ride with Hairspray. Let's get on for another ride and see what happens. And it's been about 3 years since we started on it. And it's working with the young people, which I really like. And here, a brand new composer, lyricist, both of them are brilliant young guys. Adam Schlesinger, who has his Fountains of Wayne, and DJ Jabberbaum, who's the head writer and now producer of The Daily Show. They bring a lot of new blood, and it's fun. So it's been fun to work with them. And I love working with all of you dancers. They're all kids. It's their first show. And for an old guy like me, I love to see the young people coming into the theater, getting their first taste of Broadway, and the thrill and the excitement of it all. For me, too. I only do it for the fun, I swear to God. At this point, I could just step aside, but I love it too much.
I think it's been, our goal to hang on to the subversiveness, that's in the story. This Crybaby, the film, is a more subversive story than Hairspray, and so we've really wanted to hang on to that. It's a world where they like the Drapes like being naughty. They like being juvenile delinquents, and we really want to hang on to that part of the story, because that's really part of the battle between that very straight upper crust 50s conservatism and the other side of the tracks, because I think really it's a story about class at its heart.
How do you want the audience to leave the theater after seeing a performance of this show?
I think I would like them to leave feeling like it's a celebration of nonconformity, and I think having had a great time, having heard some great music and seen some great dancing, and also I hope they leave feeling like a little rebellion isn't a bad thing.
It's a chance to work with John Waters. I mean, my God, he's an icon, and also I've always loved his irreverence and his point of view, and what a challenge to try to find that in yourself.
How well did you know his movies?
I knew them. I'd seen them all, and I more than once. I'd seen them all more than once, and I won't out myself any more than that. But a lot, actually.
I love his stuff, and I love this film. I think this was a great film, because this was his musical. I always said this was the John Waters musical, so it makes a lot of sense to turn this into a Broadway musical.
Yeah, I agree. It does. It dances and sings so easily. That hasn't been a problem with it. Trying to figure out where the music goes and where the dancing goes. It's just welcomed it, opened its arms. The story of Crybaby.
I'm very happy about it. It's the kind of role that I guess it's more or less a world that I grew up in, but I never get to play this sort of gracious lady that sounds like I grew up in the most gracious of circumstances, but it just people trying to do the right thing, and of course they've done horrible things along the way and trying to further what they believe is the right agenda. So that's who she is, and because of the exposure of the drape world, because of the catalyst to Crybaby and coming in and sweeping the granddaughter off her feet, I get exposed to a world that has only been right over a few blocks away from me, but I've never had to look at. So it's really it's kind of a crucible, and she has to start looking at other people and realizing they've got a point of view, and she's been unfair, and I think that that's a wonderful thing. So her story, even though it's not a big part of the story, it does move forward, and she experiences a change in it, and it's lovely.
The whole experience has been really thrilling. It's my first time working on a brand new piece as it's being developed. So that's been really interesting because each person has their own specific input that is really important to them. So it's been hard trying to please everyone and all their ideas about your character. But the character I get to play, Allison, is this sort of sweet, very square, which means she's playing by the rules, 1950s kind of proper girl who knows that there's more. She has a hunger for a little bit of color in her life. And so that's a fun character to play that most people can relate to, knowing what it feels to be confined and knowing that there's something bigger out there. I know that I pulled a lot from my own life in that. I grew up in a very small town in the Midwest, and now I live in New York, so obviously I had bigger dreams and bigger ideas of what I wanted to happen. So it's been kind of fun to put that into this role.
I played Dupree. If this were Hairspray all over again, Dupree would be the seaweed. Dupree is sort of, he idolizes, Little Richard and sort of the other iconic figures of the time period. And so Dupree is Crybaby's best friend, and they go through a lifelong journey. They've been friends since they grew up in an orphanage together, an orphanage glee club. And so this journey here, it's sort of the first time Crybaby's in love. So, you get that little separation anxiety from the two friends, seeing, one guy go off to be in love,
I play Wanda Woodward, which was originated by Tracy Lords in the movie. And she's draped to the core, just very free with her sexuality and loves to cause trouble. And in the show, I'm going to have a padded booty because I have big shoes to fill, or bra cup size and bum to fill with Tracy Lords. She's one of Crybaby's teardrops, and we're there to back them up, and we always do.
Oh, God, where to begin? I play this fantastic country club, Eisenhower Republican, perfect 1950s kid who has a dark, psychotic, crazy side that he unravels throughout the show, and it's beautiful to see this perfect character become a maniac, and it's really fun to try to go after Allison, the lead, and to fight Crybaby all the way to the end. And there's a lot of humor and comedy along the way, which is fun to do, and perfectly John Waters. And I'm excited to get on the stage and get over to the marquee as soon as we can.
Oh man, Crybaby Walker, Wade Crybaby Walker, the quintessential bad boy, the original rock star, the hip swiveling, guitar strumming bad boy. I mean, Crybaby's got a lot of interesting aspects because he's trying to clear his family's name, and then all of a sudden he falls in love and is trying to just be understood and fit in somewhere. That to be that outsider and get to tell that story is just such a great opportunity, and I hope it communicates to a lot of people that you can be free no matter who you are or where you are.
The fourth annual ABC Daytime Salutes Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS recently took place at Town Hall. The evening, which featured many of your favorite stars, including All My Children's Susan Lucci, raised $300,000. The combined total for the past 4 events comes to over $1 million for BC EFA. The evening also featured Sierra Boggess and Sean Palmer, 2 of the stars from Disney's latest Broadway musical, The Little Mermaid. The host was once again the ever-charming Cameron Matheson.
I felt so excited, and it was so much fun. The opening number, I think, was just so much fun and so energizing, and we all had a really good time. We all work at All My Children a lot, so the rehearsals are quick and frenzied, but everybody pulls it together.
Well, this is the 4th year. I mean, you raised how much tonight? Was it?
Tonight alone, we raised over $300,000, and in the last 4 shows, we've raised over $1 million.
Isn't that exciting?
Very, very exciting. It's win-win for everybody. We love doing it. It's for a great cause, and the fans always show up to support it. They're so generous. We are so appreciative.
Tell me what this organization means to you, BC EFA.
Well, first of all, I've been fortunate to work in this business that I love so much, and I love to perform on All My Children. I've also had the great opportunity to perform on Broadway, and in the entertainment business, we see a lot of our colleagues who have been touched. There's probably almost no family in America that hasn't somehow been touched, a friend of a friend or someone they work with who hasn't been touched by this disease. These funds also are going 100% to food, shelter, and clothing and medication. So they're going all to the people who really, really need them. And they also will be distributed in this country as well as South Africa, where it's quite an epidemic.
Being a part of Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, the fans we don't have a lot of opportunity to entertain the fans. We're on 5 days a week. We're in their homes 5 days a week. But we don't have I'm out doing stand-up comedy a lot of the year, so I get a chance to do this, but I know a lot of us don't. And the idea of being able to get there, perform in front of them, entertain them in the way they're not used to seeing it, I think the fans love it. Well, it was a packed house tonight. Clearly the fans love it.
I finally won this lady as much as any man can. And though you love me plenty, you've got this short attention span. Hey, you left my arms more than once for a new one or an ex. But that's okay, because when we're not in love, that's when we have sex. Ooh, that's when we have sex.
It's incredible. I play kind of an offbeat character, not a standard daytime character, let's say. So the fact that they've embraced him so much is a tribute to our writers, and just it's just wonderful that the quirky guy can actually succeed in daytime. And maybe we'll see more quirky guys, but hopefully I get to hang around for a little bit longer too. So
every time you came out there, the ladies screaming, "We love you, we love you."
Yeah, they're so sweet. I think it's because I look like their strange looking cousin or something. They know me. They don't see Cameron Matheson walking on the street. They see scruffy haired people like me. So maybe they can relate to that a little bit, and so maybe that's how they're more maybe they're comfortable. Just they have a comfort level around me that maybe they don't have with the hunky guys. So
talk about the number you did.
It's been one of my favorite songs. That show, Frank Wildhorn's The Scarlet Pimpernel, has always been one of my favorite shows because it's so swashbuckling, and I just thought it would be fun to be in. And so when I thought about what I would do for this, I thought of a song from that, but thought, how can I make this specific? How can I make this a little more to the daytime crowd? And I thought, I have to sing it to Lindsay Leatherman, sing it to Georgie, the character that we lost recently, character that did so much for me, and I just adore the actress and I adore the character, so it was a no-brainer.
No, I never pulled her in. Still her tenderness was everywhere. Oh, she slipped beneath my skin, just as if she'd always been right there. Has she been there all along? Was I too far gone to know? What a fool I must have been, for how could I pull her in when I never let her go?
Daytime fans are unique in and of themselves, but this event in particular, they really get an opportunity to see Bobby not be that Southern Spitfire, to come out and just shake her groove thing. I mean, you know, they get to see you in a totally different light. They get to see us in a different light, and it's what's wonderful for us. Not only are we doing for the great cause for AIDS, but I get to perform with Bobby. This is a big deal to me.
And it brings back, I really think it brings all the members of the different shows together. We don't see a lot of these people from General Hospital, and they come and we're backstage together, so it's really nice. We bond, and it's for a good
nice
cause.
Support group.
Yeah.
You know, we all know what it takes to put a daytime show on every day, but to do this, it takes a little bit of oomph and effort, and it's exciting.
It's worth it.
Now, tonight you raised over $300,000, and the course of 4 of these, you've raised over $1 million. How did that make you feel when you heard that read at the end of the show?
Well, I just think it's just, we raised it. Somebody else put their hands in their pockets and gave it out. You know, it's a joyous moment for us to do something, and for us to allow another organization to be compensated for something that we want to give honestly, then, we should be doing it every night.
Yeah, we wish we could. We really wish we could do it again tomorrow night. It just goes by so quick.
But Bobby and I and Kathy Breyer are going on the road. Did she tell you?
No, I didn't tell. We're putting a show together. We really are.
Yes.
And we're right in the middle of production and pre-production, and we're so excited.
So we might be coming to a theater near you.
She did not bring to him a parole or pardon. She brought no silver, no stars. It was a halo bright sent down from heaven, like the sweetest gift, her mother's smile.
Well, first of all, I think the very first Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS thing that I ever did was the Easter bonnet, and I brought on stage, Christine Baranski and I brought my 5-month-old baby boy. He is 16 years old now. I was kind of hoping that we wouldn't be doing this 16 years from now. I hope we're not doing it 16 years from now. But until we find a cure, a resolution to that entire issue, I'll be there with bells on, no matter what, singing, dancing, or just like tonight, just presenting for one of the best causes that I know in our business. Having said that, then it's just wonderful to see all these daytime actors who just sit there, and we're all just toiling away, working, learning our lines. It's a bit of a factory making the shows, and it's so gratifying to see them busting out with a song and with a dance, with a hoochie coochie. It's kind of, I love it. I was very surprised at the enormity of the talent. Yeah.
'Cause here I am. We're your rocket boy with a touch like silver, and you're crashing through my bedroom door. And I'm ready, right? I hope you're ready. Come on, I'll show you mine if you show me yours. No, I won't.
It was really fun because it was totally different than anything we've done so far, and the audience was completely different, and it was just such a, I just keep saying different, but it was different energy. It was really exciting.
It was nice to get out of the theater, I think, and not be in costume. And, when we did it, sans rehearsal, so it was just sort of that crazy, wild energy. It wakes you up. And actually, because we were doing material from the show, just gives you a little different perspective on it. We do it in the theater every night, and it just got me on my toes, I think.
Talk about the audience's reaction. You two stopped the show tonight.
I mean, Bradshaw and I was saying, it's like, I don't know how she does it. You both like blow it out of the park, in the theater, outside of a theater, 4 o'clock in the afternoon of a CD signing. How did the audience make you feel tonight?
It was really exciting. It fueled it. I was a little, I mean, they started clapping during the song twice, so I was a little shocked at first, and I was like, oh, and then I got all fueled, because it is a Sunday, and it is the end of our week, but we weren't tired. We were like, okay, let's do this.
Tell me what it meant being a part for BC EFA, what this evening meant to you.
Well, I mean, personally, I'm glad to offer myself to it any time that I'm asked. I feel, it's a very relevant cause, and I'm happy to do anything. I'm always glad to be asked to take part in it, so.
Yeah, it's exciting because, it's my debut, so I'm finally getting to be a part of this that is something that I have wanted to be a part of for a long time. So it's really important, and I feel lucky that I'm getting to step into it now and help support.
On land, they understand that they don't reprimand their daughters. Bright young women, sick of swimming, ready to stand. Ready to know what the people know. Ask them my questions and get some answers. What's a fire and why does it? What's the word? Burn. When's it my turn? Wouldn't I love to explore that shore above? Out of the sea. Wish I could be part